and things that God helped me with, and even the things that God delivered me from. I said, there's things that God delivered me from that I didn't know I needed deliverance. And I didn't know I needed deliverance until I spent time with God and was fasting and reading and praying and being consistent with Him, that He delivered me from these things. Like the fear of demons and, darkness. I didn't know that I needed to be delivered from that fear. In my head, I thought that fear was like normal to have, but God's like, no, that's not normal actually. And He delivered me from things that I didn't know I needed deliverance from. And so after that ended, she went to her car and she didn't know that my car was parked near her where she had parked. So I ended up walking over there to my car and we started chatting and stuff. And she was like, what she said? She was like, when I heard you preaching, because I told her, I was like, I noticed you actually were listening. I noticed you from like far down there that you were watching and listening. She's like, what's crazy? She was like, I was praying to God that you would notice that I was listening and stuff like that and all this stuff. So even in the midst of, and that's when the cop came, when we were chatting, and the cop came and he's like, hey, did any of you call about a person with the speaker? And I still had my speaker next to me, and he was like, oh, you're the one with the speaker. And I was like, yes. And I was like, it's just me, it's not her, we're just talking. She was like listening to me and stuff. And he was like, hey, it's no problem. He's like, I don't usually, really care, but when somebody calls it in, we have to, make it a point that you can't have your speaker or something like that. All that stuff. And I was like, at all? And he was like, nah, you can't have it. You can't have it at all. And I was even reading the city ordinances, and that's pretty much what it is. It feels like you really can't have it out at all, or you have to make it to where it pretty much is your normal voice. So the range that a person can yell, I think that's how you have to make your speaker. My speaker's loud, and I was trying to make everybody in the intersection hear it, but you can't do that. So so that's a lesson learned. But he was like, listen, I don't mind it, but if it happens next time, you might get